We have been on top of this breaking news. A fire in Sorrento Valley. It's burned about 65 acres. It's prompted some evacuation orders for a couple dozen residents. Thanks for being here right at noon. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour. There are road closures in place as well in the Sorrento Valley area, right off of the 5 and the 805 split. So we have crews covering this for you to bring you all that important information that you need to keep your family safe. News 8's Tori Apodaca joining us live in Sorrento Valley. And Tori, you have been out there, for now almost 2 hours. Tell us what you're seeing now.
That's right. Right now we're just off of Sorrento Valley Boulevard. Let me step out of the way as we are seeing a lot of CAL FIRE helicopters and planes that have been dumping retardant as well as water on this fire, this hillside. It has been just burning since around 9:20 this morning. I can tell you that the wind does feel like it has picked up since we first arrived out here at around 10:15, 10:20, and that's really why we've been seeing it spread to the east. And air attack has been the name of the game out here for fire crews because there were some down power lines. And when you see that type of a situation, they of course have to enter with extreme caution. And that's why we didn't see any hand crews on the ground at all for probably about the first hour or so of this fire attack. But that has since changed. And since then, we have been seeing different hand crews going up and down the hillside. This is on the west side where the fire initially broke out. For a while, we were still seeing some of those flames, now just minor hot spots. And as they're hosing down those areas, we can hear them revving their power tools, equipment, cutting through some of the brush out there that has already been charred by these flames. And up above, we can also make out some of the homes in this area. One in particular, maybe through some of the smoke in front of it right now. You can see those homes. There's some palm trees. I know I could see someone that was hosing off the backside of that house, just trying to keep that line and keep the flames away from reaching them. We know that there are evacuation orders, warnings in these different neighborhoods too for those folks. But fire crews definitely making significant progress on this fire since we first arrived here. Not seeing as intense of smoke, now seeing crews on the ground, which has really been crucial in drawing those lines. And then the consistent air attack between water and retardant, really just trying to contain this as best as possible. Netta, Eric.
All right, Tori, thank you for describing what you are seeing there. And winds has picked up there since she's been there by a couple miles per hour here. You can see a few things blowing around. We've seen dark plume smokes, and then there's brief periods where we see a little bit more white smoke, so the wind having an impact on that as well. But those precision drops from above by those aerial fire crews making a big impact. The fire standing at about 65 acres right now.
And for so many people who live and work around there, who take that freeway right there on the 5 or the 805, you're seeing this smoke. Concerned, obviously, many families, rushing to see if their families are okay, if their homes are okay. And, you have that Genesis app that is crucial in all of this. It tells you if you're under an evacuation order or in the warning zone. But, that obviously has affected many families who are trying to access their neighborhoods.
Yeah. And Torrey Hills is one of those neighborhoods.
Right. We want to send it over now to Alex Cheney, who had a chance to speak with some families. Oh, it is blowing pretty good over there where you are. That wind picking up, Alex. Tell us, what are you hearing and seeing?
Yeah, we are seeing quite a lot of smoke coming out of this canyon right now. Actually, I met Sheila here, who is the across the street neighbor. You're looking after this home while the couple's out of town. Take me through this morning for you. What was it like?
I just had my window open and I smelled that brush fire smell, and I'm like, wow. And I went outside and like, holy cow, there's a fire. And then everyone started calling.
And so what was that like to get the evacuation order, all that?
That just came in. I've had people from CAL FIRE calling me and my friend at Homeland Security calling me. So I've been updated per minute. And then we finally got the evacuation notice about 20 minutes ago.
And so you get all these helicopters, all these planes coming through this canyon. What's that noise been like?
Well, it's scaring all the dogs. And we have a lot of dogs visiting over here today. And no, it just makes you nervous. I don't want anything to happen. I'm trying to make sure the neighbors are okay. That's kind kind of basically the fear is making sure everyone's okay.
Yeah, and how long you lived over here?
Since they built it, 25 years
have you
ago.
ever had to evacuate before?
Yes, we have. This whole canyon went on fire one time, and that was a big fire. That was everybody.
So when would you say you started to smell smoke this morning?
I think around 9:30, 9:40. I just thought, oh God, that reminds me of that smell.
And then all of a sudden,
I went outside and there's ash in the air, and I'm like, what the heck?
yeah.
How come there was no alerts? And then the
Yeah.
phone started going by, all our friends checking in on us.
Okay, awesome. Well, Sheila, thank you so much. And
Thank you for
I'm
doing
glad
this.
you're safe.
Everyone knows they're trying to save all these houses and take care of Torrey Hill first.
So, yes, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you, Sheila. All right, and then we're also taking a closer look here. You can see they got some of the big water dropping planes out there right now. The smoke, for the most part, kind of looks like kind of deeper into that canyon there. I can see a lot of the pink on the hillside. Most of that is going to be Phos-Chek. We saw some of those drops coming in earlier today, but at least for right now, from what I can see, this is all white smoke, and it does look like we got one of the big airplanes out here, and I saw maybe about 3 or 4 helicopters just earlier. So they're really getting on this thing, guys.
Right, yeah. You can hear the emotion in her voice. It's chaotic. We've been through this before, and it's tough to be getting those calls and checking on your neighbors, and everyone's doing what they got to do here. Fire crew's doing a great job trying to tamp it down, but it appears to still be pretty active right now.
Wind where she was, I mean, they were at the top of a hillside, it looked like.
Exactly, and
It
that's
looked
where
pretty
winds are
breezy.
typically more intense.
Right.
We talked earlier this morning about how winds are expected to pick up into the afternoon stretch, not by a huge margin. I mean, we're going from maybe 10 miles per hour up to 15, 20 miles per hour perhaps, but any uptick in wind is a cause for concern nonetheless. We want to zoom into this area and talk about what we have going on in the Carmel Valley Road area. This is the closest monitoring site to the Sorrento Valley fire. Takes temperatures to about 74 degrees right now. Dew point is at 33. We've seen that relative humidity is not great. Once we saw that those marine layer clouds pulled off of the coast, we've seen relative humidity values drop. And of course, that's in combination with not great water numbers. Water year so far hasn't been all that impressive. Take a look. You've also got gusts around 10 miles per hour. A few minutes ago, this was around 15 miles per hour. Winds coming out of mainly the west. We'll keep track of wind direction too. That's a good indicator of where we could see these flames spread. As far as temperatures go across the county, we're mostly in the 70s right now. We just saw Escondido jump into the low 80s. They're at 80 degrees, it looks like. As we look at your wind gust forecast, this is what we're concerned about. Into the afternoon stretch, there could be some spots around the county that get up to about 20 miles per hour. So in that area of the Sorrento Valley region, we've seen about 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts. This indicates that we could get between about 15, maybe 20 miles per hour before winds die down late tonight. We've been seeing these updated images come in. We're seeing if this one can specifically correct, but it takes sometimes a minute to load. This is another one that we have from close by. This is about the Torrey Pines area, where we're seeing the coast down toward the bottom of the screen there. And then these are the trees kind of swaying in the wind a little bit. Helps to give us a good indication, along with all of our live images out there, as to how intense that wind is. 71 degrees right now in downtown San Diego. Sustained speeds, so remember, your sustained speeds are constantly blowing 5 miles per hour, but your gusts, the quick bursts of energy between about 5 and 10 seconds, are between 10, 15, and in some cases closer to 20 miles per hour. Want to zoom in on the area that we were looking at just a few minutes ago, see if there's any more closures. It doesn't look like that off-ramp is still closed right now, but we'll have to check in and see if CHP has completely reopened it. Just a few minutes ago, we had the off-ramp closed to the Mira Mesa Boulevard, Sorrento Valley Road exit. This is on the 805 northbound. We also were talking about what was going on up in the Oceanside area, where we're seeing a fire just off the 5 and 76. This is being called the airport fire. It's at about 3.5 acres. Some estimates are up to 5 acres. And it looks like they've been able to release a lot of the air crews, but this is the live camera that we have outside in the area. It's kind of hard to make out, but this is where that smoke is lingering and where we're still able to see that at least this is an active scene up in the Oceanside area. Again, very rural area, so not a lot of cameras that are they're able to give us those live images. But what we know right now with the airport fire is that all aircrafts have been released. Ideally, that means they can head south to the Sorrento Valley fire if they need additional air support right now. Fire crews tackled this very quickly as soon as it popped up, just around 9:30 or so. But still, nonetheless, a lot of those flames kind of racing up the hillside and, providing a lot of concern for the families that live around there. You saw, as Netta mentioned, the wind up towards some of those peaks. That's where they get most intense and where fire crews are most concerned about a fire being able to essentially race up a hillside. So we'll keep tracking wind speeds as well as wind direction. We'll also see if we can get any updates on this airport fire up in the Oceanside area to see if it's a cause for concern. But for now, Netta, Eric, I'll send things back over to you two.
Thank you very much. To clarify, that view we're seeing, that's the Oceanside fire, the one on Airport Road that Evan was talking about. 5 acres, that's the latest update, and no longer air attack necessary. So that's at least a good sign. So they can send more resources to this. The Sorrento fire, this one, 65 acres, so a lot larger. We're watching it grow. Unfortunately, it does look like it is starting to burn through some more of that brush. Around 11:30 or so, if you've been watching our newscast, we saw the smoke simmering down a bit. It was smoldering. Now it's starting to pick up a little bit more as those winds are picking up. The heat also is building with the afternoon. The sun is out. We had the morning marine layer, but that has quickly gone, and that does cause a bit more of a challenge for fire crews.
It's definitely having an impact on our roads and where people can go and travel right now. Let's check in with Vanessa Paz and see both of these fires having an impact on the commute right now. Good thing is it's not the morning commute and that evening commute. It's right between.
Yeah, but I mean, as Alex and other reporters in the field mentioned, there are a lot of kids at home, so this has got to be a scary moment for them. But yeah, thankfully this isn't happening in the thick of the morning or even the evening commute. But if this fire continues to linger, it could very well impact traffic around the 2, 3, potentially 4 p.m. hours. All right, I apologize. I'm going to try to reset my graphics here so we can take you back to the maps. I was filling in these details here for the evacuation points, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But I know Evan showed you the traffic map, so we're going to go ahead and revisit that and see if it's potentially having an impact for drivers in the UTC, Sorrento Valley, or La Jolla area. So this is where the fire is currently burning, just east of the top of the Golden Triangle, just north of UTC and northeast of La Jolla. The off-ramp was closed earlier to traffic, but it looks like the icon disappeared, which means that they could have that off-ramp back open. I would just avoid the area if I were you. As we take a look at some of the speeds, we're at 70 miles per hour. I was trying to get a glimpse to see if some of the overflow from that congestion or that closure was spilling onto the 5, and it looks like the 5 is in pretty good shape at Genesee Avenue. But again, if you can avoid the 805 anywhere near Sorrento Valley at the top of the Golden Triangle where the 5 and the 805 meet, that would be your best bet. You can opt for alternate routes. For example, you could take the 5 north towards that 805 connector if you want to avoid a lot of the congestion. Potentially crews still have some of those roads blocked off, but as of right now, this isn't very telling in terms of what they have active. All right, so that's what's going on with the Sorrento Valley fire. Let's move up to the airport fire up in Oceanside. This is just adjacent to the 76. South of Camp Pendleton, and right now you could actually see there's a lot of slowing just east of the 5 as you approach Oceanside towards the airport. Speeds down to about 20, 25 miles per hour or so. All right, we will continue to keep you updated here on air and online. Just make sure that you're streaming us to learn the latest traffic alerts and, of course, evacuations. I'll toss it back over to you guys.
Okay, yeah, our crews will stay on top of these 2 fires burning right now here in San Diego County. The first one, the Sorrento fire, breaking out about 9:30. We're reaching about 3 hours. Fire crews have been busy trying to tamp it all down. It's about 65 acres right now.
Yeah, you see them with the hoses, the aircraft, many aircraft out there, as you've been hearing and watching our coverage.